What's up, brothers? What's up, my guy?
What up, dog?
How you doing? Good, man.
How's it going?
Doing well. What's up, man? How you doing, man?
How you doing, man? Yes, sir.
What's up, baby? How you doing?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
good, man. How about you?
Yeah,
I'm cool.
good.
Big dog, what you been up to, man?
Living the dream. Man, I'm just staying out of trouble, man. Just trying to
Ain't
stay out
nothing
of
wrong with
trouble.
that. Nothing wrong with that.
So
Chan,
is she.
tell him about the first time when we saw Darren when he walked downstairs. He had that trench coat on when we had to do the show with him the first time. And we was walking, but
Got out the elevator. I said, God damn. As a linebacker, you know, you can start calculating like, but you, that joker's gigantic.
he said he always open too.
Always open.
He said he always open.
Always open. It's like, how does dude always open? Because
Fast.
He's strong, he's big. You put a DB on him, he's bigger than him. You put a linebacker on him, he can't keep up with him.
Coach, what's happening?
got some celebrities in this month.
What up, Coach?
How you doing, buddy? Good
man.
to have you, man.
Hey, man,
Good to have you.
hell of a job.
Coach, what up, Coach? You good, brother?
How you doing, man?
Good to see you, man. Good.
Hell of a job, man.
Crew up in this month. It's a player's game.
Yep. Now I made the decision, so I got to do right.
Exactly
You
right.
see what I'm
I
saying?
gotta make you happy.
It's a player's game.
Yeah, Coach. No, that's that new age, man. We just talked to a lot of young coaches.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Yeah, I got a lot of old school to me, and then I add a little, from where I came from, I just true to myself.
Smart,
You know what I
coach.
mean?
No, man. Miami, I was there with you. I know about you, Coach. Yeah, no, all the dudes love you.
What up,
too.
big dog?
Wow, shit.
How you doing, man? Good to see you, bro.
To the carryover guys, it's like, yeah.
Try.
What up, big homie?
Hey,
Good,
that's a
man?
big
Yes, sir.
old joker, boy. God.
bad.
Hey, no, I'm gonna save it tonight.
It make you look.
Always good to see you.
My dog. What up, bro? How you doing, man?
Big boy. What's up, bro?
That's good. It's good people to have around, though.
Good. All right, Coach. We'll catch you.
I'm proud of you, man.
Big man.
Great
What's up
career,
with you?
man. What's up, big dog? How you doing, man?
What's up with you? All good.
Huh?
Great
I said, I don't like how y'all did Omaha on the show.
Hey, listen, that dude texts me all the time now. He want to hoop, he want to wrestle.
What's
You know
up,
what I
Bob?
mean?
You good? Good to see you,
But you know
baby.
what? I will say,
Good
what's up,
night.
big dog? How you doing? Good to see you, man. You know what was so different about him? It's like Bud's not warm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we had already done the show with Arrow.
2-6.
You know, we were cool with Arrow, so it was different. But like me and Bud
What's
super
up, boss?
cool now, man. Like he
What's
just
up, man?
about
Feeling
business.
good?
Though.
Y'all been out there?
All right, good.
I think I jumped 41 and a half.
Were you one? Were you the top running back that year?
I think so. I don't know. Me and
Bro, you
Chubb.
got taller, dog?
What you call it? Nah,
Hey,
I just slimmed down low key. I really didn't slim
Damn,
down.
he look taller.
He was slim last year too, though.
Yeah, nice.
I feel way better than I felt last year.
Really?
Yeah, way better.
You said you. What's up, Cole? How you doing, man?
Legend.
Good to see you, brother.
I literally was just watching you.
Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you
Man,
so much.
I gotta drop some more highlights out.
Freddie T-Son just got fired from the grocery store too.
Yeah, he had a job. 2 weeks in, he ate a foot-long sub and a free lemonade. Fired him the next day. They saw it on camera because he didn't pay for it.
Well, damn, technically they could have got me because I would go at Sprouts. They got the bulk section. I used to go in there and get like a handful of like the dark chocolate walnuts, and then go right back to work. So I mean, they could have got me too.
What you got fired for?
Huh?
He didn't get fired. He said he
I didn't get
could.
fired. I said I could have.
Oh,
technically.
okay. Oh, you quit.
Right
back
when
to
I
school?
started to go back to training for football,
Yeah.
after like 7 months, I was
But
like,
that's quitting. I've never quit a job in my life. They got to fire me. I might not show up, but you have to fire me for me not to come back to work.
Hey, could you imagine how many chocolate-covered walnuts he ate with them big ass hands?
They know he got them walnuts. They were just scared to say something. Hey, go talk to Darren. Why you talking to them?
Hold up, limitless. Niggas to me, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Get my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, get me up. On the mission, get me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless. Niggas to me, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Get my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, get me up. On the mission, get me up. Knowing me, I got the key.
Darren, man, welcome back, bro. We're
Appreciate
excited.
it.
Different location,
Yep.
right? New colors. Been an exciting year for you as a whole. The last time that we sat down, you were not a married man.
Yep.
You and your wife, Kelsey, get married this offseason. What's that been like for you, man?
It's been amazing. It's been curveballs. You know, the like 12 hours after we got back from the honeymoon, I got traded. So dealing with things like that. But I feel like it's challenged us to become better communicators, become closer in the process. So it's been dope. It's been tough. I mean, the situation is going to be tough regardless. Like, you're not with the person that you're closest to in your life. You see them every few weeks, sometimes a couple months in between right now. So that's tough, but it's been an amazing process.
Who's the better athlete?
I think probably have more God-given gifts, but the way that she's become the athlete and the freak on the court that she is, that's all like from her, like developing that. You know, like she had skills and stuff as a youngin', but her overall athleticism was literally crafted by her and her just being in the lab.
Hey, bro, we're gonna get to the trade, but a question I get asked: Why? Why get married? What was it about your wonderful wife? What was it about Kelsey? Why get married?
I think I reached a point in my life as a man where it was having a lot of options and a lot of different places I could go, different women would never be as fulfilling as having one person that you could be like truly vulnerable and honest and open with, and they can see, everything that, all the scars you have, all the secrets that you have, like putting it out there and then having them still love you. I don't feel like being with anybody else could replace that feeling and just that overall bond and connection that we have just as, as friends first, as partners, and as lovers.
And before we get into football, the last question will be, did you take Chan up and go to a nudist colony for your honeymoon?
I did not.
I thought the story was about to get good. I thought Fred knew something.
Hey, you thought that was in his research?
Yeah,
Kelsey Plum and Darren Waller were at a nudist colony.
From being nude to New York.
Hey, Darren, man, and you mentioned the fact 12 hours after the honeymoon, you're traded to the New York Giants. 2 weeks prior, Coach McDaniels actually said you were a part of their future. And, we can have some fun with it. RG3 said that obviously Josh McDaniels wasn't a romantic, right? Because right after you get married, you're traded. And Kelsey, your wife, says it was probably because he wasn't invited. And everybody had a lot of fun with that. But now all you've done to get back to where you needed to be as a human first. And, that's been well documented. And the things that being a better human has allowed you to do on the field, it says when I have somebody that tall, that fast, that athletic, that's a dude that can help me win games. Now you're in New York. What was the feeling when you were notified that you would now be a New York Giant?
Honestly, it was almost the same exact feeling as when I got claimed by the Raiders from the Ravens. It was like a fresh start that almost felt like it was like divinely orchestrated, like right on time, because it was, the year that McDaniels got there, it was like an up and down year, you know what I'm saying? Like there was an amazing like spring that nobody saw that was like, okay, like this could be magical. Like I'm ready to give my all to this team. And then in training camp, I got hurt, and then there was my contract situation. So then there was like narratives of like, am I really fully invested, involved, or am I looking out for myself? Which has never really been the case. And then you get into early on in the season, I was just not really knowing what my role was in that offense, coming off of, nobody in this franchise's history has had more catches than me, but now here I am figuring out why I'm standing on the sideline more than I'm on the field. So it's just a lot of mental things going on with me, which probably all that spiritually as well, leading to me physically getting hurt. So it was just a lot of things, but to be where I'm at today, I feel refreshed. I feel my body's felt the best it's felt in camp in years, and I'm just blessed to still be able to play.
In Baltimore, you can get crab cakes. In Vegas, you can get almost anything. In New York, you can get spit on in the subway. How has the transition been to the new city for you?
First of all, that's accurate.
Very accurate.
But it's been dope, man. It's you can see how passionate people are about the team. Northeast is a different culture than I've been on the West Coast for the better part of 5 years now. But passionate people, man. Great food. The city's endless. Whatever type of vibe you're looking for, you could find it. But I'm enjoying it, man. I've been received with love, received with excitement, and I'm just ready to go out here and
just shopping your mixtape anywhere?
I found a studio that I really like. It's over there right in Hudson Yards in Manhattan. Mm-hmm. And so I'll be dropping some. By the time the fall is over with, I'll have a new project out.
Bro, with getting traded, what's that process like? Because a lot of people don't understand that. Like you just said, you on your honeymoon, you found out on your honeymoon that, I'm not a Raider anymore.
Right.
Like, and what's that process for you to be, I'll throw your numbers out there because I don't give a damn. 3 for 51, that's stupid for a tight end. You get that contract, and my thought would be, I'm here, like they love me. They gave me $50 million.
Right.
And then you get traded, like from finding out to now getting to New York. What's that process like?
It's a lot of things involved. If you look at it from a human aspect, it's like, I had a house that's being built in Vegas, and which is a place I'll still call home, but I haven't got the chance to live in it since I started building it in 2020. You know, so it's like now, okay, like I'm gonna take on another rent in New Jersey while having a rent in Vegas. And so human aspects like that, how am I gonna move? What kind of furniture am I gonna get? Like,
It's life.
yeah, real life hits you and all these, I think there's like a list of like the top 5 stressors for human beings. And I feel like 3 of the top 5 I had just in the snap of a finger, right on my plate. And so you gotta take that into account while needing to bounce back from a year and a half of, you know, being plagued by injuries, wanting to respond in a positive way, wanting to show this team that they're gonna get a return on their investment. All those things in your head, you know, for a human being, that's not an easy thing to do it.
You know, speaking of those things, to listen to you talk about what it's like to know what sort of success you've had on the field and have this exciting spring, and then you're watching third down and medium, or you're sitting on the sideline more than you're getting an opportunity to play. You said mentally and emotionally. You've really worked on yourself in those ways. You've had certain insecurities. What was that like dealing with that year for you? Not the physical part of it, but the mental and emotional part of last year in Vegas.
It was difficult, but I look back now and I feel like I learned more and grew more from that season than I did any of the seasons I was successful in, because you know, I had success. I had back-to-back, it was like 1,100-yard seasons, and then you come into a season like last year, and it's like, oh man, like I'm not entitled to success. You know, things aren't always going to go my way. I'm not immune to disappointments or, you know, not performing and ultimately, and somebody wanting to, you know, ship me off or feeling like they could do better without me. Like I'm not immune to that, and all I can do is respond to the circumstances that I've been given. And I feel like, you know, I've done that in my personal life, and I feel like that just translates onto the field or wherever else I may be dealing with.
And bro, I'm a Dolphin guy. I play for the Dolphins. I live in Miami. I'm a Dolphin fan. And the thing with Tua is the same way. And getting to the injury talk, where the story was that the Raiders didn't believe in your durability, not your ability.
Right.
And that's the thing, because everybody know if you on the field, bro, you're a fucking giant and can run a 4.4. It's stupid.
He's a giant.
This is huge. But like Tua, the thing about Tua, he got a lot of criticism because he took like jiu-jitsu to learn how to fall and learn his body. Do you do anything more that now you've been traded with people questioning your durability?
Yeah, it's been a more concentrated program on glutes and hamstrings, where it's like before I've been doing like traditional lifts you do in the weight room, like you do squat, like you do like a pretty traditional football lower body lift, and sometimes you may not focus on those things more than you should. And now it's like, okay, like these are like imbalances that I need to take into account and address with precision like I would anything else in my game. And so with that's allowed me to be able to go out and not, because it's like usually like if something's off of your glute, then it might turn into your hamstring. So you have to realize how connected your body is. Yeah. Just getting the overall understanding of that and weaving those things into my program with like, you know, intentionality has really helped me to come out here and camp and just feel fresh the whole time.
So you've been used to comebacks, you know, whether it's from the addiction and coming back and being an amazing player, and now trying to get back to form and show people what you are made of and give them their money back, as you mentioned, return on investments. You have a new podcast too called The Comeback Stories. What's the inspiration, like the total inspiration, I can guess, but what's the inspiration behind that?
I feel like the inspiration behind it is, you know, a lot of people, they may see people like us that we live a blessed life. We got a lot of good things going on. We got making a lot of moves. They may not be able to relate to the success that we have, but they can relate to adversity that we all share. Like nobody's immune from pain. Nobody's immune from whatever happens in life. And having these conversations that we have on this podcast, I feel like it can allow somebody to tune in and take something to go along on their journey with, whether it be inspiration, whether it be, you know, they're using drugs and they want to quit. They may hear something that might want to make them pivot, like you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we just want to have those conversations to put positive content in their ears because everybody's facing something in their daily life, and we want to help them be able to overcome and show the world who they really are.
Is that therapy for you when this game is throwing you curveballs? To be able to talk to people, share your stories and hear their stories as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to talk it out, because, you know, I don't want to have people come on the show and be vulnerable with me not being vulnerable in return with what's going on in my life. So I like to do that as well. And yeah, anytime I bottle things up, it's not a good thing for me, because I'm going to want relief or to take the edge off in some kind of way. So for me, talking is a huge part, and hopefully other people can realize that as well. Because for most men, we're not really trying to talk like that. I still have to battle that to this day, even though I know it's good for me. I still gotta put the reps in.
You know, that was having the opportunity to sit with you and Donnie or speak with you and Donnie was what made me. When this started, I was like, hey, we gotta get Darren. I want to hear that story. But it brings me to relationships and people, right? Donnie Starkins, who is your co-host, that's how I was introduced to the show. And he actually works with my son Jordan in Arizona, and just helping him talk through, meditate through, work through different things. And I think a way that allows each person individually to handle their adversity. For you, what has having someone like him in your life been able to help you unlock?
Since Donnie came into my life, we started off like I was a client of his, and he was like a mindset coach, and he was talking about, you know, the story you tell yourself in your mind, like really just me being in my way most of the time, more so than an opponent or anything that I may see or may be afraid of or anxious of. And it's just giving me solutions to attack things and to just be present to the moment. Meditation and mindfulness, those type of things just allow me to calm down when I could easily be stressed or triggered or angry or disappointed at people. Like it can allow me to just pause and to respond to things in a positive way, because I can't control much else outside of my response, because things are gonna happen, maybe good for me, maybe bad for me, but the power's in my response. And if I can take a breath, just chill for a second and evaluate those things, like I'm gonna make a wise decision.
And bro, we'd had you on before, and like RC said, your addiction, your recovery is well documented. But to change landscapes and for your ex-teammates, for the Raiders to know, you know, what you went through and know your struggle, and then you get with a new entire group, and it's camp, so it's 90 dudes, and get with them. And now, do you, like, that transition, like, do you anticipate they know your story? Do you have to explain it? Because you're a different dude. Because, like we laughed about before, like, me and you in the locker room would have been hell. Because I'd have been like, man, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, like, to get into an entire another building with 90 new men with the new Darren, like, how was that transition? And do you have to explain yourself to people? Do you have to, you know, go overboard, I would say, to explain what you've been through and where you are?
Yeah, I feel like over time I've learned how to kind of immerse myself in new environments without having to give people like a disclaimer or like, you know, just kind of just go in and be myself, and go in and, you know, be a friend to these guys, you know, try to find a connection to these guys, as opposed to trying to figure out how we're different and, you know, how I may approach things differently. Like, we're all men at the same day, we all have a common goal, we're all in a similar type of process. So I try to form a bond with him first and foremost, and if it comes to the point where I'm around him, I'll just be like, nah, I'm not having a drink today, or nah, not today.
We had that, because with last time I was like, shit, we gonna go ride, you wanna go party? And you were like, nah, nah, I don't wanna party.
Not today, man, I'm cool.
Yeah, but I guess the point is, I don't have to say, this is all I went through, and this is why I won't have a drink. It's that today I won't.
Right.
You know what I mean? And never, but my hopes is never, but today I won't. And that brings me to something else. You are no longer number 83. You're number 12.
Yeah.
And I've seen that, you know, you've let it be known that that number is important to me. And what struck me is not necessarily just the story of why the number is important. I can be honest on this show, I've been to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, because I was just at a point in my life, I didn't drink a lot, but I would drink and I'd be like, man, like, why I gotta get drunk though?
Right.
You know, I was like, why can't I have 2 beers? Why I gotta have 6? And I wanted to know, and I had a good friend who was there, and he's like, just come see, just come talk it through, just come listen. And you know, that's what I would do. So I've been there, so I understand what the number means. But when you explained it to someone, you said, the number 12 is important for people like me who are in recovery. Because the misnomer, or what we feel, is that you're recovered.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that you could function in society, that you have been sober for 6 years now, I think it is, he's recovered, right? Like old boy said, I'm delivered, you know? So for you, when you say you're in recovery, and that's why you went to number 12, just explain that to people who feel like you have this thing licked and it's not a daily, and it's no longer a daily fight for you?
Yeah, that's big because, you know, in these meetings they talk about there's an obsession and like compulsion in your thinking. It's more so like rested in your thinking. So when you stop drinking or you stop using, it's like that thinking is still there. So it's really just going to transition into something else. Like for me, it's transitioned into like masturbating. It's transitioned into shopping. It's transitioned into like, I need to fill that void somehow. I still need to take the edge off. I still want to find something because I have that addiction, alcoholism in me. So it's never really going to go away. And I have to come to grips with that and know that, you know, I walk daily with God and allow him to, you know, take my mind off of that and onto things that are greater, onto, you know, a purpose for my life, onto doing things for other people and showing up in that way. But yeah, it's something that never leaves. It's a daily management. And if you feel like you can just coast spiritually through it, you're really going backwards and you can start to feel it on the inside. So I don't have this thing all figured out, nor will I ever, and there is no finish line.
So you like, give me 12. Did you just hop in and say, hey, so how did that process happen? Because when you change teams, I was never really as good as you. They just put it in my locker. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say that, like this is the first time I've ever really picked my number, like at any level. Like in high school, college, like I've been like a guy that was like a contributor, but I was never like really like that guy on the team or anything like that. So I just like, you know, took a number. I got to the Raiders, they gave me 83, and I'm like, I'm gonna just make the number work. But I got here and, you know, just kind of sitting and praying on it. I just had an idea that kind of like I downloaded that wasn't even really mine, you know, and I was like, I feel like 12 would be dope. I'm gonna ask for it. You know, I don't know if the team has a tradition to where it's like, oh, tight ends need to wear 80 or, you know, so I was like, threw it out there like, hey, can I wear 12? And they were like, yeah. And I had a purpose behind it.
How did you just make masturbation bad? You got me.
I feel like it's all.
How did you do that, man? You done made me insecure.
Nah, there's positive benefits behind it, but it's like it's the thinking behind it. Like if you're trying to run from something, escape from something, like by doing something, then I feel like it's like, okay, like, let's go deeper on that. But if that's not what you're doing, then
I'm not escaping from myself. I'm enjoying myself.
Have at it, then.
Just sitting here listening to you, man, you know, it's a lot of news, a lot of things going on in your life that I think would overwhelm me and create some stress in my life, you know, with marriage, new wife, a new team, your music, the podcast, and even you're still working on yourself. Are those things necessary for you to, as an outlet? Like, how do you find a balance, like a real balance, to avoid being overwhelmed?
That's a great question because I feel like I'm constantly like finding balance. I don't feel like I ever get to a point where like the scales are like stopped and like even, you know, it's always like kind of teetering one way and I try to get it back to where it's not gonna tip over, you know, and sometimes I feel like all these things that are in my life are blessings, but sometimes they can feel like burdens some days, you know, and that's just how my mind kind of works. But it's like I said, trying to keep myself in that middle ground and know that, you know, I need my wife. I need people in my life that I can lean on. I need to create music because it provides a balance that fills me up when, you know, football, as great as it is, it takes from you physically, it takes from you mentally, emotionally, and having these conversations on the podcast as well. Like, I need these things and need to continue to pour into them. I can't just be all eggs in one basket, you know?
You become a Giant, right? And if I'm not mistaken, you grew up in an NFC East house, but it's one Giant parent, one Washington parent. So when you found out you were going to be wearing these colors, what was that like?
I mean, if you start with my dad, like I feel like his feet haven't touched the ground yet, man, because that's his team, his whole life growing up in New York, and his brothers as well, like family that really love the Giants, and so that's been an amazing part. But you also got my mom's side of the family. My mom was a Washington fan growing up. And then her dad, they still have a bunch of Washington like trash cans and blankets and all that stuff in the house. And my grandpa was really like, I gotta wear that blue? Like, I really had to rock that? Like, he was really not feeling it. But then they kind of get to it, like, Grandpa, like, it's gonna be all right. Like, it's all love, it's about family. And so he's like, okay.
And then coming down here, man, it's funny because everybody talks about, like, there's an argument about how much does a guy like you need to play in preseason. And I'm on a baller's gonna ball. Like, put me on the field, let me play ball. I don't need to play for, I remember Junior Seau, like my first year, second year in the league, he was still on the Dolphins. And he walked in the locker room, he's like, hey guys, they're paying us $700 for this game. Let's go out here and do something. And I thought about it like, damn, they're paying us $700 to go out here and play, and they're selling these tickets. But my thought is that if you know football, you don't need preseason work. You don't need that lead up. For you coming to a new team, they always talk about continuity. The quarterback and the receivers have to get on the same page. And really, bro, you're a receiver. You're not a tight end. Like, fuck.
That man getting the
not-
wide position and block.
Darren, do you want a down block on the 5 technique on the power play, or do you want to run the fucking 4-4 down the hash and catch one?
I'm trying to do a little bit of both.
But the receiving side of being a tight end, how much, like, when you first met Daniel Jones, y'all are first out there on the field, like, how long does it really take, because everybody talks about continuity, to get on the same page with a quarterback?
I mean, I don't think it took very long. I mean, you look at me and Derek from my first year starting in 2019, like, that connection was from the jump, like, automatic. And I feel like from the first time I met Daniel in early April, the first workout, like, he was already putting the ball out in front, like, and I'm like, okay, like, this is going to work. Like, we got into the spring and we're doing all these different concepts, moving around, and we're hitting shit with timing. And I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like it necessarily takes very long. It can be improved on and expounded upon over time. Like, you can do even more things. But I feel like out the gate, like, if you guys know where the timing of certain things and where you should be and that's aligned, I feel like it can be pretty good from the jump.
Looking ahead, what are your expectations for yourself and for the team?
I mean, I expect myself to carry whatever load this team puts on me, whether it's 100 catches again, more touchdowns than ever had before. Like, whatever this team is asking of me, I'm willing to do. And then, with this team, I feel like starting with offensively, I feel like we can be extremely balanced with Saquon running the ball. That's a generational talent in its own right. And the receivers, the way they've developed through the spring, I'm very impressed with them. I know a lot of people may try to speak about them a certain type of way, but I know what we have in them. And defensively, I mean, look at the front. Like, those dudes are, I mean, you could talk about the Eagles have a mean front, no doubt whatsoever, but, I mean, we're not slacking in any type of way in that regard. And I really like the addition of Bobby at linebacker. He's really taking command of the defense, and I'm excited to see what we do, man. It's an action-packed division, though.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna get live.
Yeah.
And for someone like you who seems to understand more than just your position, I thought it was very interesting that you mentioned Saquon, but I think essential. You had an opportunity to be here for the offseason. He was obviously not here, but ball. And you know what it is when it's no, we can't double Darren because we're going to have to put 8 in the box at some point because 26 is going to get it.
Yeah.
When he finally makes that decision to come to camp and be a part of this team for 2023, how excited were you to know that you'd get to play with Saquon?
Yeah, it was dope, man. His locker's right next to mine, and I just saw him sitting in the locker when I walked in, and I was like, okay, like, it's on. Like, it's gonna be a fun year.
Yeah, you add Jalen Hyatt, Hodgins comes on late in the year, Shep is healthy, Crowder's here now, so there are pieces, and I think people think so much about what it used to be as to what it is now. Having, played for Gruden and having Josh McDaniels last year, we got to talk to Brian Daboll out there, and I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. It took like 20 seconds, and I was like, hell, I get it.
Right.
Like, I get why it's different here. What has getting an opportunity to develop a relationship with him as a man and a coach been like for you?
It's been a lot of fun. I've been in a lot of places where it's like ball is like real serious. Like, I played for John Harbaugh. Gruden's a fiery guy. McDaniels is, New England, like, we about business, do your job. But Dave is like, he's playing trap music in the team meeting room when you walk in. Like, guys are playing Madden 2-minute drill to end the team meeting. We had shooting contests at the end of, like, the OTA days in the spring. Like, just things that I feel like an underrated part of it is, like, you got to enjoy coming up and showing up to work every day. And I feel like a lot of guys don't have that when they go to certain places, and that it translates onto the field when they have losses in a row or seasons may not go the way they want to. But if you enjoy coming to work, and you're going to be like, man, I'm going to run through a wall for this dude. Like, I'm going to give all I got because I don't want to let him down. The way that he treats me, like the way that he respects me, empowers me, like, I want to make sure that he's getting a return on that. And that's what it feels like with Dable so far, just only being here a few months.
It was cool. I'm obviously a fan of yours in many facets. I think this is probably the thing I think you make the largest impact is when you share your story. One of your latest songs, Learn My Lesson, it's like courthouse and all these things are going on in the visuals. What was your thought process behind that, in not only what you're saying, but in order to give people that visual of certain things you've gone through?
Yeah, I mean, just off the hook alone, like I've been arrested 3 times. I've been to court cases and, had drug charges pending against me. And it's like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I don't know if there's a way out of this for me, if I gotta go, like, sit down, like, and to be able to, coming out of those situations before, like, I just went back to what I was doing. But now looking back on those things, I see, like, how many opportunities I've been given to grow, how many opportunities I've been given to learn. And I just wanted to, be able to show people, like, you could be in that courtroom, you could be whatever your bottom looks like there's an opportunity for you to grow and start trending in the opposite direction, start trending in the direction that your life should be going in and who you want to be. So that's really the thinking behind it.
What is music for you? Is it, like, do you plan on making money? Like, do you think, are you going to be on, Spotify and all that shit, selling stuff? Or is it just really like a vent for you to get your words and your thoughts out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people, like, I really don't have to make $1 off it. It's in my blood.
We know you don't have to need no money. We know you don't need no more money.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just a love, man. Like, it's in my blood, really, from my great-grandfather. He was like a jazz legend, and I could tell it's really been passed down just by the way it makes me feel creating or writing or just being in the studio. So it's really just the joy and the love and wanting to, get my thoughts and concepts onto, tracks that are dope, but also, like, will speak to you and challenge the way that you think in ways. And I feel like that's what I want to give to the world, what my legacy to be.
Man, it's a good show. We know y'all all busy. And when you're busy like us, you're raising kids, man. You're out there grinding, working, doing life, but you still want to get to that sporting event. You still want to get to that concert, that theater show, that comedy show. You gotta download the Game Time app. It is the best place to get the best tickets for the best price. For busy people like us, you gotta get Game Time.
Hey, and I just downloaded it. This is truth, no ad. I just downloaded it because I need some messy tickets because these prices been messed up since he came to Miami. But I'm gonna use the promo code, The Pivot, and also take advantage of the discount. So listen, the best place for the best prices, and you can see your seats all from the app right here.
Y'all see RC's not here right now because he had to go see his son play college football this weekend. You know what RC did? Went on the Game Time app to see his son, got the best prices on the best tickets, and that's what Game Time's gonna do for you. You gotta download the Game Time app, create your account, use the promo code THEPIVOT, and you're gonna get $20 off your first purchase. You know we're gonna watch out for y'all. Game Time.
Have you guys, you and Kelsey, have you guys discussed family?
Yeah, we discussed family. We're in no rush, though. Just being patient with it because, she's in the prime of her career. And extending our family would require her to, put those plans, those goals that she has on hold. And I don't want to do that for her. I want her to, achieve everything and then some that is that God's bringing to her. So,
Man, like people, they breed Frenchies and all this stuff. Y'all baby gonna be fucking crazy. Gotta be talented. Gonna be a stupid kid, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
they both breeders.
Huh?
I like dogs. You call them breeders. The big male, the big female. They need to make babies because they're gonna breed something that's amazing. Y'all are gonna breed. Y'all are both breeders.
Well, what they gonna do is,
I don't even know. There's no question to it. Nigga,
hey, what's gonna happen? He definitely gonna have a rivals report or whatever, the 0-3, whatever they got the high school recruiting reports are.
Oh yeah.
He or she gonna have a 5-star joint right out the gate.
Out the womb. Out of the womb.
Hey, the baby gonna have to prove they can't play.
They gonna be in that little incubator box with a 5-star.
That's my point. That'd be crazy.
But what are you doing to stop it? Because I plan on not having a third kid, and then a third kid happened because we know how babies are made, Darren. What are y'all doing to stop the babies?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, we go into it knowing that there's taking her future into account and knowing, like, with her career, the goals that she has, like, we don't feel like there's a reason to rush into that, and we feel like there's gonna be time where we can enjoy that. Like, I'll probably be done by the time that time comes, and we can really, devote the time that we want to while also enjoying our lives right now because having a kid is dope. I believe, it looks amazing, but it also seems like it's a lot of work as well.
Also sucks sometimes.
I don't want to underestimate that whole process, so I don't want to rush into it. You know what I'm saying?
Kelsey's a lefty, right? And isn't there like an old highlight video of her throwing T-shirts into the
Out of the arena.
out of the
almost.
arena or something like that? So in the off season, does she ever just get out there, man, and throw a couple footballs for you?
So she came out to training camp last year in Las Vegas and just hopped on the field and just like stretched and then like kicked like a 40-yard field goal
Right.
and was out there running routes and throwing the ball. So she's all about it, man.
Man, for you now getting an opportunity to embark on a different set or a different place in this journey, right? Because it's all one thing. What is most important for you going forward, right? You talked about not necessarily being able to put all your eggs in one basket. We are expected to live a life that whatever that logo is the most important thing to us, right? And when we talk about some of our greatest athletic heroes, that's the one trait we point to, right? When they talk about Tom Brady, when you talk about Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, all of those people, it's like, nah, we knew that this was the priority and that was it. But for you, life has thrown you curveballs where that may not necessarily get to be your priority all the time. What is the most important thing for you right now going forward?
I feel like it's taking a mindset into whatever I may be doing, because it could be football at one moment, it could be music at one moment, podcast conversations, but it's like just a theme of excellence in everything that I do, because I can carry that everywhere. No matter where I'm at, wherever my feet are, like I can be excellent at what I'm doing. And if it's in the locker room, if it's on the practice field, if it's in the weight room, like then I'm being excellent there. If it's on the mic, if it's anywhere, like I'm trying to do something that is gonna leave an impact, that's gonna make the world better than the way that I found it or that I came into it. And if I keep it that simple, I know that, you know, the gifts that God's given me, the way that I show up in each and every moment, like good things are gonna happen because I was present to that moment. But it's really just excellence, bro.
Do you ever have like a certain feeling, you know, I'm only 5'11". You probably faster than me than I was too.
Yeah.
That's not true.
He's
We don't know
faster
for
than you.
sure.
Guaranteed.
How do you guarantee that he's faster than me?
I see his numbers. Look at it.
You mean like right now?
Well, right now he's obviously faster than me at my best.
Darren, what are you running 40?
I ran 4.46 at the
A
combine.
4.4. You haven't even smelled. You can't write a 4.4. Your fucking pencil would break.
But certain people that their game speed is 4.4 though.
Thank you.
Who's that?
I close like that.
No, he's smart and he jumps on routes. He's a 4.7.
And he got ham hocks.
He's
got
a 4.79.
Ham hocks in his pants. Have you seen his? Never mind.
Bro, stop it.
He built like my middle school girlfriend.
Pause. Relax.
Double ham hocks?
Hey, what is going on? Can I get to the
My bad. You talking about you gonna run with this big old motherfucking lie?
I had Troy.
Lie.
Hey, but like for you, we live in a world sometimes where you can't have like other interests, and there's certain coaches who understand that we do, right? Dave seems like one of those people that's like, yeah, I get it. You know, you like music and you like this. As long as when you're on the grass, you perform in the way we need you to.
Right.
It doesn't seem like a Bill Belichick sort of way. It didn't seem like a Joe Judge who was here before sort of way. And Josh McDaniels comes from that same sort of, that same tree. When you are sitting on the sideline, is there ever any conversation, or what was the conversations you were having with yourself? Did you ever put yourself in a place like, man, maybe they feel a certain way about the fact that I'm not the way they are about football just being the only thing?
Oh yeah. I've had that thought numerous times, and it's like I've had that thought where it's like if I don't fall in line and do what they do, like because I'll go have a conversation with them about certain things, like, and not like what y'all doing is wrong. It's just like, I want to know why. I want to, really buy in, and I just want to have a conversation about certain things. And it's like, maybe there's certain people that don't want a culture of that, of questioning, but that's who I am as a person. Like at life, like I want to know why. I want to know the purpose behind what we're doing, because I have a purpose in my life. Without purpose, like I'm going in the wrong direction.
Right.
So I bring that into everything that I do, and sometimes I was like wondering, like, yeah, I am different. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I don't need this as a man. Like I know who I am. I know I have value outside of this. Whereas a lot of guys are like, this football thing got to work, or I don't know what I'm gonna do. And it's tricky, bro, because it's like when you're in the game, you want to set yourself up for after, but you also got to be committed enough to where you're pouring everything into it. But like, what's the balance? Kind of like what Fred was talking about earlier. So it's tricky, man. I definitely had those thoughts last year.
And with Dayball, like you get here, and you didn't decide. You weren't a free agent and decide where I want to go. You were traded.
Right.
Your ass going to New York. What's that first meeting like to this conversation of, you said you called it different. You're a different type dude. What's that conversation like the first time you meet Dayball? Because I love him to death. He was in Miami. I understand his offensive mentality. I understand his coaching acumen and why he got the job. But then for a different man like you now to have to, I don't know if it's figure out another head coach, he has to figure you out or whatever that was, that first conversation with Dayball.
The first conversation I had when I got a call from the Raiders general manager when I was seeing my physical therapist in Vegas. And so he was like, yeah, we're trading you. I just wanted to let you know. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I leave, I walk to my car, like 5 minutes later, I'm getting a FaceTime from some random number. I open the FaceTime and it's Dave's and Joe Shane, the general manager. And I'm just like, I've never had a coach FaceTime, never wanted to talk to a coach on the phone. Like, just leave that relationship in the building.
Yeah.
And they called me and were like, yo, like, we're excited to get you here. Like, can you fly up here right now? Like what you doing? Like, we're excited to have you. Like, talking about what we're gonna do already, and I'm like, yo, my first time talking to y'all. But it's like, but you can like feel that excitement, and just like, we're excited to have you, and like just like you, like the guy, like who you are, and you come into the building and just feel how everybody, we just sitting there shooting the shit, like on the couch, Dave's in there talking with me and my dad, like just chilling, like just as guys, as men, and those kind of things I feel like go a long way when you got, a man that's leading you that you relate to, that you can respect, and that like, yeah, I'm walking with him wherever he goes, I believe, and where he's taking us, that I feel like that ups your play, that ups the team morale, that ups the vibe y'all take onto the field, and that confidence, and it's got to start with him. So that first conversation was just like, I've never had this.
Man, thank you, DraftKings, for sponsoring this. I'm all by myself today. Chan had to go to the bathroom because his bladder is little, and I think Fred's somewhere working out with his shirt off so he can post a selfie. But any new customers that signs up for DraftKings, if you use the promo code PIVOT, you place a $5 bet on any game, and you get $200 in bonus bets. And let's say you want to get big time money, you can use same game parlays. You can place multiple bets, and it allows you to make even more money. And if DraftKings Sportsbook is not available in your state, now you can play daily fantasy. So there's still something you can do to get in the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. Remember, get your mobile devices out right now, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and any new customer using the promo code PIVOT, place a $5 bet, and you get $200 in bonus bets.
The New York Giants have had some legendary tight ends. Mark Bavaro helped them win the Super Bowl. Jeremy Shockey as well helped them win the Super Bowl. Can Darren Waller be as great and also contribute on the same level to help the Giants get to that big game?
Absolutely. I require excellence from myself. No matter the quantity of targets, if it's a lot, then I plan on making each and every one of those, making something shake with them. And at the end of the year, that adds up to big numbers. Then, but it's about that each and every game, each and every play mentality of like, what those guys are doing, the standard that they set, I'm bringing the same standard to the field. And we're going to see what happens. And I believe it's going to be good things.
And if you didn't know, the magical number is 35. That's the Giants tight end's touchdown record. I think you can get it.
Yeah, you get that. I mean, the way people throw the football now, you get that in 3 stinking years.
Ain't he going to get covered by linebackers and tight ends and the safeties and all that shit, man? This big old ass about to go
Here's
crazy.
the thing, though. Somebody got to block 11. And speaking of that, week 1, the New York Football Giants, and they call them America's team, so I guess I will. America's team. Y'all have an opportunity when the whole world's going to be watching to set this NFC East kind of scene. How excited are you about having an opportunity? I mean, we know your pops is going to be excited to have an opportunity to start your season or start your tenure with the New York Giants with a game like that.
I'm over the moon, man. It's like those, not only like the night games, but the games against the quality of opponent that Dallas is like, it just raises you up. You know what you got to bring to the table. And it's like, I don't want to go into the game. I don't want to blow nobody out. Like, I want to be in a fight. Like, I want to be in a war against, like, the best of the best. And Dallas has some of the best in a number of positions. So it's a great opportunity for us to just come out and show that we're capable of playing championship football at the end of the day, you know, and you can only do that one game at a time because every team in the NFL is tough. The margin's very small from the best team and the worst team that you see, and you know you got to bring it each and every week. And if you do that one game at a time, especially against an opponent like this, like it's a great way to start the season.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. I think that, you know, every time we get an opportunity to be around you, I learn something. And that's exactly why we do this. It's the reason why you do comeback stories. And, man, you always got 3 fans here, bro, that's rooting for you. And so go kill them. Do your thing like you always have. But most of all, man, just stay authentically you, bro, because it's special. So we appreciate you, my dog.
Yeah, appreciate y'all, man.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On the vision, I can trust. Limitless. Take a stomach, got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up.